May 29th, 1453. The walls of Constantinople have stood for over 1,000 years, weathering every siege, repelling every attack. Then a sound shatters the dawn. Not the clash of swords or the twang of bowstrings, but something new and terrifying. 10,000 matchlock muskets fire in perfect unison, their lead balls smashing into ancient stone with mechanical precision. The gunpowder smoke clears to reveal something unprecedented. An army of former Christian slaves taken as children and forged into the world's first professional soldiers, methodically reloading their weapons with drill field precision. These are the Janissaries, literally new soldiers, and they're about to end the Byzantine Empire with industrial warfare 2 centuries before Europe discovers the concept. This isn't just military innovation, it's the systematic transformation of human beings into killing machines. Welcome to Engines of Conquest. Today we're examining how the Ottoman Empire industrialized death itself. The year is 1363. The Ottoman Empire is expanding rapidly, but Sultan Murad I faces a problem every conqueror knows. How do you trust an army built from the people you've conquered? His solution is as brilliant as it is brutal. Create soldiers with no loyalty except to the Sultan himself. The Devshirme begins, the child levy. Ottoman agents sweep through Christian villages in the Balkans, selecting the strongest, most intelligent boys between 8 and 15. These children are taken from their families forever, converted to Islam, and inducted into the most rigorous military training program the medieval world has ever seen. But this isn't random cruelty. It's systematic social engineering. These boys have no ties to Turkish nobility, no tribal loyalties, no family connections that might compromise their devotion. They belong completely to the Sultan, and in return they become the empire's elite warrior class. The training lasts 15 years. Physical conditioning that would break grown men. Weapons training with every implement of war. Religious indoctrination that replaces their Christian identity with Islamic warrior culture. And crucially, education. These child soldiers learn mathematics, engineering, languages, and tactics that make them superior to any feudal army. By 1400, the Janissaries are the world's first professional standing army since Rome. But their true advantage comes when they embrace gunpowder weapons. While European knights dismiss firearms as cowardly, the Janissaries see opportunity. A weapon that requires training rather than noble birth, discipline rather than individual prowess. The matchlock musket becomes their signature weapon, a 5-foot smoothbore firearm that can punch through any armor at 100 yards, fired by soldiers trained from childhood to load, aim, and fire with mechanical precision. Each Janissary can deliver 3 aimed shots per minute, faster than any archer, more lethal than any crossbow. August 26, 1526, the plains of Mohacs, Hungary. King Louis II leads the flower of Hungarian nobility against Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. The Hungarians deploy traditional tactics, heavy cavalry charges supported by infantry squares. They've used these methods for centuries. They don't understand they're about to face the future of warfare. Suleiman deploys 12,000 Janissaries in the center of his line, their muskets loaded and ready. Behind them, Ottoman cannons are positioned for coordinated fire support. This isn't medieval warfare. It's combined arms tactics that won't appear in Europe for another century. The Hungarian charge begins with magnificent courage and complete tactical obsolescence. As heavy cavalry thunders toward Ottoman lines, the Janissaries demonstrate something Europe has never seen. Disciplined volley fire from massed infantry formations. The psychological impact is devastating. Hungarian knights who have trained since childhood for individual combat face an enemy that fights like a machine. No heroes, no individual duels, just methodical industrial killing. Rank after rank of Janissaries step forward, fire, and withdraw to reload while fresh soldiers continue the barrage. Within 4 hours, the Hungarian army ceases to exist. King Louis II dies in the retreat, his kingdom falls, and Ottoman power extends deep into Central Europe. The Janissary musket hasn't just won a battle, It's demonstrated that professional soldiers with firearms can destroy any feudal army regardless of courage or tradition. But the true revolution isn't technological, it's organizational. The Janissaries proved that armies built on merit and training can defeat forces based on birth and tradition. They established the template for every professional military that follows. The Janissary system lasted over 500 years, but it ultimately destroyed itself through its own success. By the 18th century, the Corps had become a hereditary military caste more interested in politics than warfare. When Sultan Mahmud II finally disbanded them in 1826, he needed modern artillery to destroy the force that had once been the empire's greatest strength. But their influence on modern warfare was profound and permanent. The Janissaries established every principle that governs professional armies today. Systematic recruitment, standardized training, uniform equipment, disciplined tactics, and loyalty to the state rather than individual commanders. More importantly, they proved that social engineering could create superior soldiers. By removing tribal, family, and class loyalties, the Ottomans built an army whose only identity was military service. This concept, the citizen soldier who serves the state rather than local interests, became the foundation of every modern military. The technological lessons were equally influential. Janissary adoption of firearms forced European armies to modernize or face extinction. The Age of Knights ended not through gradual evolution, but through the shock of facing professional gunmen who treated warfare as craft rather than art. Today's debates about military recruitment, professional training, and institutional loyalty echo questions first raised by the Janissary system. How do you create soldiers whose primary allegiance is to the state? What's the proper balance between individual initiative and collective discipline? How do you maintain military effectiveness while preserving democratic values? The Janissaries also established a darker precedent: the systematic use of child soldiers in state warfare. While modern international law prohibits such practices, their example shows how military effectiveness can conflict with human rights, a tension that persists in contemporary military ethics. In our era of volunteer armies and professional military services, the Janissary legacy raises uncomfortable questions about how societies create warriors and what price they pay for military excellence. 500 years ago, the Ottoman Empire solved the fundamental problem of military organization: how to create soldiers who serve the state rather than themselves. Their answer: systematic recruitment, professional training, and institutional loyalty, built the most effective army of its era. But it came at a cost measured in the lives of children taken from their families and transformed into instruments of imperial power. Today, as we debate military service, professional armies, and the relationship between citizens and soldiers, we might remember the Janissary paradox. The most effective warriors may be those with the least freedom to choose their fate. In creating perfect soldiers, do we risk destroying the human beings inside the uniform? What weapon changed history the most?